Let's go ahead and begin by wrapping our lead wire around the hook shank 12 to 14 times and clipping off the excess wire. Adding lead wire to this fly will do three things. One, it'll help set the cone against the eye of the hook. Two, it'll help create a segmented body. And three, help create additional weight to the fly. And go ahead and push that wire into the back of the bead. Now apply some additional wraps so the wire is at the 50% point of the hook shank. Go ahead and cut off the excess wire. Go ahead and attach your thread just behind the wire and cut off the excess thread. Now advance your thread back towards the bend of the hook with the end of your thread base in line with the barb of the hook. Now advance your thread forward and create a thread dam just in front of the lead wire. Now go ahead and make a couple passes of thread along the shank of the hook to create a secure thread base with your thread ending just behind the lead wire. Now prepare a 4-inch piece of gold wire and attach it just behind the lead wire. Now advance your thread back towards the bend of the hook, securing the gold wire to the near side of the hook shank as you wrap. With your thread hanging in line with the barb of the hook, go ahead and grab a gold variant rabbit strip. The tail of the fly should be about a shank length long, so go ahead and grab a bodkin needle and part the hairs, exposing the hide of the rabbit strip. Once you've exposed the hide, go ahead and place that on top of the hook shank, just in line with the barb, and secure the hide to the hook shank with secure thread wraps. Now go ahead and lift up the rabbit strip and advance your thread forward and have your thread hang just in front of the rabbit strip in preparation for the next step. To create the body of this fly, we're going to be using two different types of dubbing. The first dubbing is a tan salbug dubbing, and the second type of dubbing is a sand SLF prism dubbing. Now go ahead and mix those two types of dubbing together and apply it to your thread. Now create a smooth body by wrapping the dubbing around the hook shank just in front of the tie down point of the rabbit strip and then forward 1 index point behind the cone. Now grasp the rabbit strip and pull it forward so the hide is aligned on top of the hook shank, and part the hairs to expose the hide of the strip and attach it just in front of the cone with secure thread wraps. Now grab the excess hide and pull it up and cut it as close as you can in front of the tie down point. Now grasp the wire that's extending past the bend of the hook and make one turn clockwise around the hook shank underneath the tail. The next wrap of wire should be directly over the top of the initial tie down point of the tail of the fly. In preparation for the next wrap, go ahead and take a bodkin needle and separate the hairs, exposing the hide, and then grasp the wire and lay it right on top of the hide, securing it to the hook shank. Continue using this method of ribbing the fly until the wire reaches just behind the bead. Now go ahead and secure the wire to the near side of the hook shank, just behind the bead, and break off the wire cleanly at the tie down point. Using a dubbing brush, go ahead and pick out some of the dubbing around the body of the fly. To prepare the gills of the sculpin, go ahead and prepare a red hen saddle feather and peel off the webby fibers from the quill. And secure the feather to the hook shank with the inside of the feather facing the near side of the hook shank. Now go ahead and cut off the butt end of the quill as close as you can to the tie down point. Now grasp the hen feather with a pair of hackle pliers and actively guide the fibers back towards the bend of the hook in preparation for the next step. And begin to wrap the feather around the hook shank, palmering the fibers back towards the bend of the hook as you wrap. Now secure the tip of the hen saddle with secure thread wraps. And cut off the tip of the hen saddle as close as you can to the tie down point. Now grasp a coq de leon hen saddle feather and pull off the webby fibers, exposing the quill, and attach it to the hook shank just in front of the gills, making sure that the inside of the feather is facing towards the near side of the hook shank. Now go ahead and cut off the butt end of the quill as close as you can to the tie down point. Now grasp the hen feather with a pair of hackle pliers and actively guide the fibers back towards the bend of the hook in preparation for the next step. and begin to wrap the feather around the hook shank, palmering the fibers back towards the bend of the hook as you wrap. Now secure the tip of the hen saddle feather to the hook shank. And cut off the tip of the hen saddle as close as you can to the tie down point. Now go ahead and grasp the fibers of the hen saddle feathers and pull them back and create a thread base about 1 eye length behind the bead. To create the collar of this fly, go ahead and grab a gold variant rabbit strip and hold it up vertically. Now grab a potato chip clip and open it up and pinch only the hairs of the rabbit strip. With the pair of scissors, go ahead and cut the hide away from the rabbit fur. Now go ahead and create a dubbing loop that is about 4 to 5 inches long. And apply a dubbing loop tool to the thread. While keeping the dubbing loop open, go ahead and place the potato chip clip in between the 2 pieces of thread, trap the hair, and release the potato chip clip. While pulling tight on the dubbing loop, go ahead and adjust the hairs so the butt ends of the hairs are almost flush against the 2 pieces of thread. While continuing to hold the dubbing loop tight just below the hair, go ahead and begin to spin your dubbing tool. Now release your finger from the thread and the hair will begin to spin. Continue to spin the dubbing tool and run your fingers up and down the rabbit fur, releasing any loose hairs. Go ahead and grasp the end of the dubbing loop with a pair of hackle pliers and begin to wrap it around the hook shank just in front of the hen collar. And continue to palmer the rabbit fur back towards the bend of the hook as you wrap towards the back of the cone. Once the collar is flush against the back of the cone, go ahead and secure the dubbing loop thread to the base of the hook shank with 3 to 4 secure thread wraps. Go ahead and cut off the excess dubbing loop thread. To reduce thread bulk, as well as keep the collar flush against the cone, make sure that each wrap of thread guides around the edge of the cone as you wrap. Go ahead and finish this fly using your whip finish tool, again making sure that your thread runs against the edge of the cone. And clip the excess thread. And that's how you tie RK's variant Sculpin.